Today, New York City's localbozo.com welcomes CRUISR frontman Andy States on our line. Andy, thanks so much for some time today, man.
Thank you so much.
Let's start first with the here and now. The band is in the midst of a tour in support of the 1975 with dates lined up to the end of the year. Let's talk first about how you got linked up with this support slot and how the tour's been going so far.
So we initially got on this tour just through connections with Vagrant, and the opportunity came up, and we were just so excited. We were actually supposed to be writing at the time, and then we kind of, once the opportunity came up, we just were like so thrilled that we kind of hit the pause button on writing and decided to hop on the tour. And so far, it's been an absolute blast. I think I've been really impressed with how amazing of a show the 1975 puts on, and they're just great people. And their fans have been super receptive to our show as well. So the tour so far has just been an absolute pleasure for us.
You've got two sold-out nights in New York City ahead of you on December 4th and 5th at the West Side's Terminal 5. Talk about what the prospects of those two shows mean to you as a native of Philadelphia.
I think we're absolutely a lot of these shows have been sold out, and it's been kind of unreal for us, to experience these types of crowds, and coming from Philadelphia, we're used to playing, a lot smaller rooms. We have a pretty good draw in Philly that, things go well for us, but we're totally excited to be in New York and be lucky enough to play a sold out crowd at Terminal 5, and come there from Philadelphia. I know some of our friends live there, and it's exciting for us, and we're looking forward to being back on the East Coast. I'm actually driving right now as we speak through California, so we're looking forward to kind of coming home, and New York definitely represents a sort of home for us.
Now, the band's origins date back to just as far as 2012, where you initially penned a 6-song self-titled EP and sort of put this band together. How did you get hooked up with the rest of the guys that would eventually join CRUISR?
So it basically started, I was sharing music with my drummer now, John, and we were friends at the time. We went to college together, and he's always been kept in touch, and I kind of would bounce ideas off of him and get his, sort of opinion on things, and he was always super interested. And so when it came time to put the band together, I went to him first. He's an amazingly talented drummer. And then he knew our bassist, Kyle, just from work. We're all kind of designers by, original trade, I guess. He knew Kyle, and I tried him out, and he was amazing. And then Bruno is our guitarist, and he's someone who we met through doing shows with our previous guitarist. And I remember us just playing shows and awing over how amazing Bruno was at guitar. So it slowly has come together, and the lineup we have now is just amazing to me. I think a lot of these guys probably started playing music before I did, and I remember John kind of being someone I looked up to as a musician when I was a little bit younger, and just being able to play with people on that level is such a privilege to me.
In September, you guys released your second EP entitled All Over. How did you find the collaboration with the rest of the band on this effort versus writing songs by yourself?
It's interesting. We sort of had to, I went from the way I did the first record was I would write drums in the computer. I can't really drum. And then what we did was we hired a session drummer to sort of recreate those drums. The biggest shift for me, and I still do a big chunk of the writing, but the biggest change for me has been working with John, our drummer, and we've started doing a sort of technique where we'll go and just have him record loops and ideas for drums, and then I can take those and write on top of that, and then that way he's more integrated into the writing process. Other than that, it's been mostly me thus far, and I've been sort of creating a backbone of a song or an idea, and then the other guys will add little flourishes and stuff in the studio.
So the fact that you guys got called out while you were in the midst of doing some work on writing, have you guys continued to do some writing while on the road?
We've done a little bit of writing. I found it a little bit difficult keep writing on the road. But I've been, getting on the computer and just experimenting with some electronic stuff and just able to get ideas and arrangements down, and just kind of, it's like you don't want to get rusty. Before we were on tour, I was full-time just writing. So I've been trying to learn this program called Ableton a lot and just keep on getting better and keep on, writing. And the main way I've been able to do that is just on the laptop, which is kind of a switch for me, but I'm enjoying learning it.
The band's been fairly fortunate in getting signed to Vagrant Records in such a short amount of time, all things considered. What advice would you offer other aspiring musicians just desperate to be in the same position that CRUISR's in today?
The biggest thing I would say for me is don't ever underestimate being in as many places as possible. Do your own PR. Understand what PR actually is. The way I went about it is I really reached out to blogs. I had a whole kind of campaign that I did my own, where I used Hype Machine to find blogs, and get my music on as many appropriate blogs as possible. And it helped me so much because that was the reason I got hooked up with, some industry contacts that have been key to helping us grow the band. And that is the number one thing. Along with making great music, but I see a lot of people making great music, and it's just as hard to get people to hear it as it is to make good music.
So we got a couple questions for you from Twitter. If you wouldn't mind dropping some quick answers for us, if that's cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Great. All right. So far, your favorite place that you visited on tour?
Well, we just left San Francisco, and I was amazed with how beautiful the place is. I've known the prototypical it has hills and there's the Golden Gate Bridge, but there was so much more to it. And we took a lot of photos when we were there just because it was so beautiful, and we took a little bit of time off. So that's probably been my favorite place to visit and look around.
Favorite thing to do on a day off?
We haven't had a lot of time on our days off. We've been driving a lot, but anytime we can just create a little bit of time to explore, we've been trying to get up a little bit earlier and spend a little less time sleeping and more time seeing things. And when you're on the road, the number one thing you can do when you do have free time is go see the world. 'Cause we're in a lot of places we've never been before, so there's always something we want to check out.
At what point did you know that you wanted to be in a band?
I would probably say a long time ago, probably when I always knew I wanted to write music. So I knew I wanted to be in a band when I realized, I guess, that's what I needed to do to sustain being a songwriter. And I think it's more interesting than just being a singer-songwriter, I guess. But maybe when I was 16.
Okay, and last thing, what are the band's plans for 2015?
We are going to hopefully be releasing a full-length album, and if not, releasing a series of longer EPs, and the biggest thing for us is writing, and that's the number one goal for me. As soon as we're done with tour, I'm going to get back to writing with these guys and hopefully top everything that we've done so far and keep making things better.
Andy, can't thank you enough for your time today, man. Is there anything else you'd like to leave for our readers in New York City at localbozo.com?
Check out the All Over EP on Spotify or iTunes, and keep having fun.
Fans, you can check out CRUISR in their opening slot for the 1975 with 2 sold-out shows here in New York City at Terminal 5 on December 4th and 5th. Definitely make sure you pick up their new EP, All Over, released in September. We've been speaking with CRUISR frontman Andy States. Andy, can't wait to have you here in New York this week, my friend. All the best of luck on tour this year. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.